Hello to all of you peaceful people who don't like to argue. Blessed are the peacemakers. We are at peace because we make an effort to walk towards the marvelous light. We make an effort to be the light, and we make an effort to make our light shine. We know that we are blessed, that the Lord Jesus Christ has allowed us to walk out of the darkness and into the marvelous light. We count it all joy. Hello to all of the subscribers, the old and the new. Thank you so much for continuing on this journey with me. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I want to take the opportunity to invite you to go ahead and press the subscribe button. Make peace with the subscribe button, the like button, and your comments. Most of us empathic souls, introverted souls, highly sensitive people do not like to argue. We actually shy away and stay away from arguments. We like to split things straight down the middle, rightly divide the word of truth. We stick with the facts and we avoid conflict at all costs. There are some people who live for conflict, live for arguments, live for chaos and confusion. We are not one of those. We are peacemakers and peacekeepers. We generally desire to live peaceably with all men. Can't we all just get along? That's our motto. And this is why we should never argue with a narcissist. Continue to hold your peace and let the Lord fight all of your battles. Victory shall be yours. Narcissists love to argue for a few reasons. First of all, they use arguing to hold up this false image and this mask that they have of wanting to be the smartest and the most superior. They also use arguing as a way to, pull you down and push you down, okay? To bring you over to chaos and confusion, to bring you over into misery. You may notice throughout this video that I have a hard time saying the word argue or arguing. It's just part of my Southern accent and Southern dialect. So bear with me. I would venture to say, based on my experience with a narcissist, it's not really possible to win an argument with them. They are the best at arguing because they literally make a living from it. They are very experienced in arguing because they have done this the majority of their life, and they use it pretty much every day in their tactics. They are intent on getting their way. They are intent on getting over on people, and arguing is one of their weapons of choice. They will use arguments to wear you down, literally. They will wear you down mentally and even take you to the point of physical exhaustion with their arguing. When you are faced with an argument with a narcissist, I feel it is best to just remain silent. I feel like this is the best way to deal, and it's the best way to, quote unquote, win in arguments with a narcissist. Let them argue with themselves. This is pretty much what they're doing anyway. They're attempting to, self-regulate, okay? They're attempting to battle with this image that they have of themselves, this false image. If you challenge that in any way, they feel threatened. They will fight literally tooth and nail to remain in that place of superiority that they feel like they're at. They have to be better than you, and they have to be smarter than you. They have to be on top. They have to be the winner. A lot of times narcissists like to get in your face and argue, and I feel it's best to just look at them. Just observe the foolishness. Just sit and be as straight-faced as you possibly can. Don't make any, facial expressions that could be deemed as rude or challenging, because that will only intensify the argument with the narcissist. Let the narcissist just get out everything that they have to say. Just look at them and allow their hairline to argue with your wig. Don't you say one word. Arguments are the fire that fuel the narcissist. It fuels the narcissist's source of supply. If you engage in arguments with a narcissist, essentially you are giving them your energy, and they just simply don't deserve it. They are already taking, pulling, and siphoning your energy already as it is. Just being around them can pull your energy. I can remember plenty of times where the narcissist would wake me up in the middle of the night or the wee hours of the morning just to argue with me. He had this nasty habit of wanting to beat his thought patterns into my brain, wanting me to come over to his side of a belief system, believe his viewpoints, see things his way, change my mind. He would argue me down about why I shouldn't divorce him, why he goes and stays out late at night, how I should be more understanding of that, how I should just stop thinking about it, how I should just stop contributing to my own depression. And the list goes on and on and on. A lot of times he would bust up in the room in the middle of the night after he has stayed out all night or in the wee hours of the morning. He would bust up in the bedroom, turn on the light very aggressively, okay? And he would knock and bang around, purposely wake me up. Sometimes he would say, "You sleep?" What you think? Sometimes he would just, get close to me and say, "Hey," and he would scare me out of my wits, okay? Just jolt me out of my sleep. It's very, very rude, very nasty, very cold, very insensitive. But this is the nature of a narcissist. And when he would wake me up to argue, he would just be sitting there lecturing me and going on and on and on and beating and pounding ideas and using persuasive language and all the things. He would literally just make you exhausted, more tired than you already were. You are fighting with your sleep. You are fighting to keep your eyes open. If you doze back off, they're going to wake you up again. They're going to keep the light on so it's almost impossible for you to fall back asleep. They're going to have a loud, elevated voice. Sometimes he would just be sitting there talking with his feet crossed, his arms folded, and all the things. And sometimes I would just turn back over and just allow him to argue with my bonnet and the back of my head. You don't necessarily have to let the narcissist know that all of that lecturing and all of that talking and everything that they're doing is in vain. You can already have a made up mind, but you don't have to prove that to the narcissist. Just let them talk. They actually really like to hear themselves talk because it helps feed their ego. You can even take it to the point of nodding and agreeing with them, or just keep saying, "Okay." They have this need to know that their words are effective. So sometimes you just have to, give a few words to let them know that you're listening. There's a difference between listening and actually absorbing it. You can allow it to go in one ear and out the other, and that's perfectly fine when something is gibberish. You don't have to take in gibberish. Another thing that narcissists will do is use insults to engage in arguments with you, okay? They will try to, take jabs at you, say mean things to you to get you to argue back with them, to defend yourself, to plead your case, if you will. I can't tell you the number of times that my ex-husband, narcissist, would call me a fat bee. This was his regular name for me. This was his regular insult. And, I didn't defend myself very much with that. Okay. I didn't have the energy to argue back with him to say I wasn't that. I would just say something that would let him know that really didn't affect me. His words hurt, but they don't always have to affect you and take root. There are indeed ways to defend yourself without engaging in the argument. There are ways that you can actually shut it down. I remember one time the narcissist called me a fat bee, and I looked right at him and I said, "I love it when you call me Big Papa." And you know what? That narcissist went completely silent, and the look on his face was one of disbelief. But he actually didn't have a rebuttal. And so his argument was killed and his argument was dead. He tried to make me cry. He tried to make me engage in the back and forth, trying to ask these questions. Well, why are you saying I'm a fat bee? And what makes you feel that way? And what can I do? And blah, blah, blah. Didn't say any of that. I just gave an unofficial nod. Touche, narcissist. Narcissists engage in all kinds of put downs to get you to argue with them. Something as simple as putting together a toy or putting together a bookshelf. You can try to tell the narcissist XYZ because you have observed something that they didn't pay attention to, etc. And they will get upset about it and they will call you dumb and stupid. They will say, no, it doesn't go like that. And then they will struggle with it and struggle with it and struggle with it. And finally, they will try the option that you mentioned 12 hours ago. And wouldn't you know it, the thing that you said actually worked. Then they want to come back to you and ask questions. And that's when I would tell them, don't ask me. I'm dumb, remember? I thought you said I was stupid. Why would you ask me a question? I don't know. And I would say that and I would walk off and I would be done with it. There is no argument because all you did was give them back what they originally said. You agreed with them. You agreed with them without letting it affect you. You agreed with them while still knowing your truth. You let them think and believe what they wanted, and you still maintain your sense of self. Whatever you do in secret, the Lord is going to reward you openly. You have set up and taken plenty of jabs from the narcissist. You have set up and endured plenty of arguments from the narcissist. And the Lord will send blessings, rescue your way. God will fight your battles for you. I remember plenty of times throughout my marriage where the narcissist has treated me wrong, done me wrong, engaged in all of these arguments with me. And shortly thereafter, I would get some type of award. I would get a promotion, or people would just come up to me in the narcissist's presence and tell them, "Oh, your wife is so smart," or "Oh, she did this and she did that." And that is the Lord fighting your battles for you. That is the Lord lifting up a standard against the enemy for you. That is the Lord putting his hedge of protection around you. That is the Lord revealing all truths in front of the narcissist. This is the Lord telling the narcissist about you. He's telling them that you are the head and not the tail. You are above only and not beneath. Telling the narcissist that you are walking worthy in your vocation. What can the narcissist say? The narcissist's argument has become null and void based on other people's testimony of you. The Lord will fight your battles on your behalf, and he will give you the victory. Never argue with a narcissist. It's not worth your health. It's not worth your strength. It's not worth your time and energy. You have better things to do than to sit up and argue with a fool. You know your worth, and you know that your worth is in the Lord Jesus Christ. You don't have any need to prove your worth to a narcissist. You cannot even explain your worth to someone who does not know love, who does not know what love is. Love is as love does. Love does not bring arguments. Love brings peace. Love is not chaotic or confusing. Love brings about peace. How can two walk together except they be agreed? And it's not possible to walk with a narcissist because narcissists will never agree with you. They will always argue with you. It's not possible to be yoked up, truly yoked up, equally yoked with a non-believer. Narcissists are non-believers. This is because they don't keep the commandments of God. Anyone who loves God will keep his commandments. If God tells you to live peaceably with all men, that means do not argue. Hold your mule and shout for the Lord Jesus Christ. Hold your mule so you don't have to argue with a donkey narcissist.